Oh, we haven't got the pièce de résistance. I've got to have my shit hat on.
Merry Christmas, dear.
Oh. What could it be? Happy Christmas, you absolute legends. Here's to Santa. Got a new set of props for Christmas. Very happy with that. Why have I got a new set of props, may I ask? Is over the last year I've been training, and sadly I've managed to chip and delaminate my original props on a couple of shite takeoffs, shall we say. My good friend Gordon, thank you Gordon, repaired them, but I'm going to demote those to my spare emergency props and put on a nice, fresh, brand new ones. But I don't want to insult your intelligence, because most of you will know how to put a prop on. But just in case you don't, I'm going to show you how to do that now. So here we go. First things first, you have your props. Treat these like a small child and nurture them. Try not to drop them. Carbon fibre, bit of a nightmare. First thing we do is fit them together, thus, and you just slot in like that. These will eventually fit onto said paramotor. But before we do that, there are a couple of things we have to do. First things first, there is a spacer. Looks like this. And that, my friends, will fit onto here, onto the hub. So that sits on like that, very nicely, thank you. You can make sure the holes are lined up. Just stick one of them in there, just there we go, that's about there. Okay, so that's those lined up. Next thing is, you have this backing plate. Keep that in your hand. And we take our said props with our backing plate and line them up nicely. There we go. Stick a screw through one of the holes and then just get it in there, line it all up. Trying not to drop the props, because you chip this lovely carbon fibre, it's not good. There we go, just screw it in a little bit. Just to hold it on. There we go. Lovely jubbly. And then, obviously, put the next screw in. There we go, so that's a prop on, hand tight. Lovely. Now, before we go any further, because it's Christmas, it's incredibly important that you have another sip of beer, bottoms up. If you look on the prop itself, you will see that we are to tighten these bolts to 8 Newton meters. And you can see that there. So what we'll do is we'll just nip them up slightly with the Allen key, and then we'll get our torque wrench out and we'll actually tighten them to 8 Newton meters. Don't start hanging off them, because you might go over 8 Newton meters without actually knowing it. So there you go, they're hand tightened up. Now we'll get the torque wrench out. So what you should do is tighten them in a cross sort of section. So that one, then the opposite one, then that one, then the opposite one, and that one, and the opposite one, just so that you're spreading the load round. And again, 8 Newton meters. So you hear your torque wrench click. Now, before you stow this away, one of the most important things is to get your prop covers on. Try and protect those props. Excellent. Right, I'll see you in the air. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good one. First thing we're going to do is check all my body tangles. No tangles, no tangles, no deformation in the wing. Now, my wing got absolutely soaking wet, sitting in the dew there on the ground, and it just got wetter and wetter, and then I had to move the wing a few times. So, best thing to do is mushroom your wing up and keep it off the ground when you're, you know, faffing around getting it all ready if it's a shitty day, if it's a wet day. I did that, but I had to move my wing a few times and it just got soaking wet. Now the best thing to dry a wing out is this, just go flying. So by the time this video goes out, it will probably be either New Year or hitting the New Year. And I want to use this video as a sort of to make a montage of all the highlights of 2024. 2024 for paramotoring has been an amazing experience, honestly. It's been unbelievable. I did my first flight at the beginning of 2024 as per my video here. Can you see it? Having seen paramotors fly over my house before and going from that to basically this in a pretty relatively short space of time. So my first flight was around about February, and then from there on it just went from strength to strength. And I thought I'd put together a montage of videos, just highlights of 2024. I've had my ups and downs. What you'll find is I started getting consistent flights, and then I got to a stage where every single flight I did was terrible, as in launches. And I got myself into a state where my confidence went, etc. Now everybody I hear goes through that. If you don't, you're lucky, but you will get to a stage where you get consistent flights, and then you'll have a lull. Maybe you pick up bad habits, maybe it's complacency, maybe you're overconfident. For me, there's a little bit of overconfidence. I started to get overconfident, and I also a little bit of complacency set in. So I had a couple of face plants. I wrote half a prop off. I cut lines in my wing, and I've done some pretty poor landings. So if you're going to learn the sport, those are all going to happen to you. If they don't, then you're a better pilot than I was, or a better learner than I was. So here's a montage. Here's 2024 for you. Some of my good bits and some of my bad bits. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed putting that together because it brought back all the memories of 2024 and just how far I've got into this sport in a pretty short period of time. 2025, what's all that going to be about? Well, for 2025, all I can do is go from strength to strength. I've managed to get over my lulls. I'm doing consistent launches. I've got my new props, thank you Father Christmas. I've got new lights where I broke them in the past. I managed to fix my starter, so I've got a brand new Paramotor again. So it's all going well. So all I can do now in 2025 is move forward and become a better pilot. Get rid of all these little things, and we've actually got some guys new to the sport in our little club, and if I can help them as much as I can, that's going to be great. I'd like to do a little bit more cross country, so now I've got some confidence. I'm doing consistent flights. I'd love to go and do a couple of cross country runs, land on a big hill or something, even fly camp if I can get that. I'd love to squeeze one of them in and go from there. So that's what I'm hoping for 2025. Also, we have a fly-in usually in Montrose. That'll be, I'm not sure when that is, that's in the summer. We didn't fly last year because the wind was quite high, so the Paramotor pilots, we all turned up from our club, but we didn't fly. Instead we drank, so that was good. So, you know, it's not just about flying, it's about the camaraderie and the fun with the friends as well. So, I'm looking forward to that. Any other fly-ins that we can get to would be good. I'm retired, so I've got the time to do this, help other people, and just improve my flying skills. So it's all good. I'd like to show you the difference between Tucker Gott's videos and mine. See, Tucker always has nice clean trainers on, and his trousers always seem to be, you know, you could land and then go for a meal somewhere. Not in Scotland. Scotland, we have bogging fields in the winter, soaking wet, and the reality is, oh yeah. So let me recommend, you'll need a good set of walking boots, waterproof Gore-Tex walking boots. That's the way ahead in the winter here. See you in the next video in 2025.